Hey world, it's your girl T, and I have a Dear T letter from Joseph. And I'm happy to be doing a Dear T letter. It's been quite a while, and I know I've gotten another letter from you, and I'm definitely going to respond to that one because I really did enjoy that letter. It's just hard for me to keep with all the letters and the requests, but I wanted to get this one out just because it's a really, really good topic. So I'm going to go ahead and read his letter to you guys. So Joseph writes, Dear T Fizzle, of all the videos that you have done covering a wide range of topics, not one of them have been about your work in IT. I'm interested in possibly working on computers when I grow up. And I'm wondering what type of advice would you have for someone considering getting into the IT field? I've noticed that there are all sorts of certification programs. Which ones are legit? Which ones are scams? How did you get into IT and what sort of things do you do on a day-to-day basis? Overall, I'm asking you to do a video about your job besides modeling. Thank you, Joseph. So thank you so much, Joseph, for the email. I see Joseph all the time on my fan page. He's like my human spell check guy because I may be good at IT, but as far as, writing, I mistype all the time. And he's always there to catch my mistakes. But so how did I get into IT? It's really kind of interesting because initially my mom wanted me to be a nurse. After I had my son at a young age, she was like, you need to go to nurse, you need to go to nursing school, you need to be a nurse, yada yada yada. I tried the whole nursing thing. I didn't like it. It just was not for me. I ended up dropping out. Yes, I dropped out of nursing. So I was just working for a few years doing finance. And I've always been really good with computers. I've always been good with gadgets. I've always been really into electronics. And one of my boys was telling me, like, since you really like computers and like you're really interested in like software, just different programs, you really should think about getting into IT. And at that time, I knew what IT was, but I didn't know how to get into it. So he was telling me that, a few of his friends had got in, going through the certification programs. So there's two different ways you can get into IT. And I had to ask. And the only reason I'm bringing this up because it's relevant to the video. Otherwise, I would not even bring this up. But yes, I'm currently dating somebody. And we've been dating now going on 4 months. And he is also into IT. He does not work with me. I don't mess with coworkers. He does not work with me, but he does do IT. And when I was asking him and I was telling him about me making this video, I was asking him as well, what way did he feel was the best to tell you to get into IT? Because me and him went about it two different ways. He went to school. He got his 2-year degree in IT where he learned like the whole gambit of everything. And he's been doing IT now for 5 years, and now he's an engineer. And he's making damn good money being an engineer. He works on computer servers. He works on everything from the servers, from start to finish, any type of troubleshooting if they break down. He's the one to get everything back up and running. So that's his job. He's in charge of the servers. I do first level technical support. He is top level. So when we can't solve something, we get it up to second level. When second level can't resolve it, they get up to third level. And basically the buck stops at third level. And that's what he does. So there is really no one else for him to escalate it to. He has to resolve the issue. So that's how he got into IT, was going through and getting his 2-year degree and things like that. He says that the way I did it was better because he ended up getting, having to go through student loans and things like that. So the way I got into IT was through the certification programs. So I went in initially because I didn't want to pay all this money to go get a degree, especially if it was something I wasn't going to like. And IT is not a woman-dominated field. I mainly work with white males, point blank period. That's just me being 100. Out of everybody in my particular department, I am one of, I want to say one of 4 females and one of 7 black people. And there's about 100 people in my department. So I'm very proud of myself that I was able to get into a job that I'm doing right now. And I'm making damn good money and I love what I do. I wake up loving my job. So basically I went to school. I got my A+ cert and I got my N+. So I got my certs. And the certification programs are like $1,000. Which is a lot cheaper than, going about the degree program. It took me a while to get into an entry-level job because they don't come up too often. And once a lot of people get into IT, they're not trying to leave. You know what I'm saying? It's the type of job that once they train you in, there's so much room for growth. They do not want to get rid of you. So it's definitely a lot of room for growth in the IT field. So, I never had an IT job when I lived in Charlotte. I would apply, never heard nothing back, whatever. So, and I ended up getting my first IT job here when I moved to this state that I'm in. And one of my friends, he does IT as well, and he said they were hiring at his company. He's like, you should give it a shot, send over your resume. And I ended up getting the job, went ace my job interview, stuff like that. So as far as what I do on a day-to-day basis, I troubleshoot anything for stores, company locations. So let's take Walmart. Anything that makes a Walmart run, as far as like their electronics, their registers. If their registers go down, it's my job to run scripts, get them back up, get them rebooted. If I'm talking to somebody at like a corporate location, I do a lot of remoting in. So I do a lot of virtual work. I remote into people's computers all day. I run scripts, get things cleaned up. So it's a lot. They could have the blue screen of death. It's my job to figure out what's going on, try and get it back up and running. If not, get over to next level support so they can run a more intense script. I also work on telephones, rebooting endimes, different servers. I do a lot of rebooting. I run a lot of scripts. I work on a lot of different things, everything from computer hardware to video cameras. I bounce a lot of ports, switches. It's my job to get the video cameras up in stores so that way they're able to apprehend criminals and all that stuff. So I'm in charge of a wide gambit of things. There's not one thing that I do. I literally do it all. Anything that makes a particular store run, if it's electronic, it's going to come in my world. The cool thing about my job is that I get to interact with so many different people. 1 minute I'm talking to somebody who is like upper level, somebody in India. The next minute I'm talking to like a teenage cashier and they're about to cry because their register just crashed on them. They're scared they pushed the wrong button. And so, now I have to be, that mom, like, calm them down. Like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. Things happen. That's gadgets for you. I need you to be my hands and my eyes, and I need you to do this. Another really good thing that you would like about IT is that you get a chance to be a hero. You know what I'm saying? You get a chance. There's very few jobs that you get to be a hero, but there's nothing more satisfying when somebody gets me on the phone and they're automatically having this doubt in their head because I'm young, I sound young, they probably can tell I'm black, and they know I'm a girl. So right now they're thinking like, oh God, I got this girl. She's not going to know what she's doing. And then I get their issue resolved. I get their computer up and running. I do whatever it is that they called in for. I managed to resolve it. That's like the best feeling because they're like so thankful. Like, thank you so much. I didn't think you was going to be able to do it. I appreciate you. What is your name again? So that's like the most satisfying fact is when I'm able to resolve that issue for somebody. And you get to be a hero literally like 50 times a day. So that's the best part. We can't fix everything, and sometimes we do have to get certain things escalated, but 9 times out of 10, we are able to get a lot of things resolved. So the best part about IT, and I'm glad that you're interested in going into the IT field, is like I said, there's so much room to grow. When my boyfriend started, he was doing entry-level work like I'm doing, and now he's an engineer. And he's making twice as much money as I'm making. So it's like he's handling his business. And yes, my boo-boo is black. There are black engineers out there. There are black men who do IT, and they are handling their business. So I would love to see more people of color, especially women, getting into the IT field. And I'm just really grateful that you asked me that question. And I think this would be a good field for you. If you don't want to go about spending a lot of money on getting a degree, definitely go through the certification program, get into an entry-level position, and then your job will pay for you to go to school. So now whatever certs I want, my job pays for it. Like in October, I went and got my desktop certification. That certification was like $600. My job gave me tuition reimbursement. I'm thinking about going right now to pursue I don't know if I want to get certs, if I want to get a degree in graphic design, because I really love graphic design. I'm self-taught. I do a lot of things on the side. I make people's business cards. I'll show you some samples here. I make a lot of my designs from scratch. I make people's business cards, brochures, weddings, flyers, club flyers. So this is all stuff I taught myself because when you think about it, hardware and fixing computers and things like that, it kind of all ties into graphic design. So that's one thing you want to also decide. Are you more of a hardware person where you want to do a lot of break fix? Do you want to work out in the field where you're installing LAN cables and you're working on servers and things like that? Or do you want to do more what I do, virtual, where you'd rather just remote in and do a lot of fixing that way. So there's so many different parts to IT. You just got to find out where you're comfortable, and then also find out, are you visual? Because if you're more of a visual person, you can definitely make money in graphic design. A lot of marketing companies are always looking for people who are good graphic design artists. Definitely get to know Photoshop, InDesign. I love, CS5. So definitely get to learn all those programs if you're a visual person. You can definitely get into graphic design, for a company making at least 30 an hour. So that's like one of my goals. I do want to stay in the hardware field because I like hardware. I like being able to fix things, but I'm definitely thinking about possibly moving into the graphic design part of it because I love graphic design and I love creating things. I'm a very creative person. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. I learned a long time ago that, I don't think I'm an ugly girl. I think I'm okay looking. I'm not Beyonce, but I think I'm cute. But looks aren't going to last forever. You know what I'm saying? Your body's not going to last forever. You can only get by on your looks and stuff like that so long. And I had never had a goal of being a real housewife of Atlanta or a real mistress of Atlanta. I've always wanted to do something that could help me financially and take care of my kids. And, once all this fades, it is what it is. As long as I still have this up here, that's all that matters. So that's how I looked at it when I wanted to get into IT. I wanted to do something that could, make me money and I could be smart at. And it was more about your brain and what you could bring to the team as opposed to just being pretty. Modeling is fun, modeling is cool, but that's a side hustle. That's not my goal. I don't want to be Tyra Banks. I don't want to be a supermodel. I like doing stuff on the side, but my job is IT and I love it. And I think that you would definitely love the IT field. If you have any other questions, if you're concerned with anything, if you're just confused, definitely feel free to email me on YouTube or on my fan page and I'll, get back to you. But I would definitely like to see some of my subscribers get into the IT field, especially some of my young girls, because I get a lot of emails from young kids who are confused about what they want to do. And there's money to be made. I make over 20 an hour, so you can definitely make money. You can definitely, take care of yourself and be okay. And right now I'm trying to encourage my older son, into possibly looking at IT and computers and stuff like that because he's really into computers and things. He's kind of geeky like me, so he'll probably be going towards that field as well, So I don't know. That's my job in a nutshell. I don't want to make this video too long, but I hope it helped you, as far as giving you some type of idea of what it is I do. I basically do everything. That's how I feel, but you would definitely love the IT field. Hope you enjoyed the video, Joseph. All right, deuces.